Hello, Steve Arts 89. So, Katy Perry. I was watching an interview just recently with the project here in Australia because Katy Perry came here to do the grand final, performance at the grand final and some concerts. And she appeared on the project. And that was the interview where she said that all female pop stars for eternity need to thank Madonna because she basically opened all the doors that they now walk through and basically created the female pop star template that they all work from. But they also had her sitting in the audience talking to a 102-year-old lady about you know long life and living and everything. And the lady was pretty brutal and shut Katie down pretty quick. And it was kind of funny, but I thought, this is why Katie's not having the kind of consistent success that some other female pop stars are, like Madonna, Gaga, Mariah, Nicki Minaj, Miley, because they've all created these characters that have their own life, and they're very removed from who they actually are in real life, and they create these personas, they act these characters out, and then those characters have their own life, they generate their own publicity, and people follow them when they're actually not doing the work. They just have their own life. They have their own momentum. And Katy Perry's never really done that. She's always just kind of been Katy Perry. And she sort of was always parodying herself and having fun. And that was nice, that was charming, but it didn't give her this arm that these other ladies have, where her last couple singles didn't do so well. I don't know if her last album is doing really well. I hear it's not. I hear that she's just not having the reception she was expecting, because she was on that for a while, on that Mariah, Madonna, Gaga level, where she seemed to be operating on that same level. But part of that is just the publicity machine, and whoever the latest person is, they put all their money and effort into that. When that goes away and they turn that light onto the new girlies, if you don't have your own momentum and your own thing happening, you will just sort of fade away. And I'm a bit afraid for Katie at the moment, because I feel like she's going that way, because as nice as she is and as affable and approachable, and I think people just see her as a real person, and that in one level is good because the fans feel they can relate to you and all that, but that doesn't hold their interest as long as a character or a persona or a legend or a a scandal or whatever, and those are the sort of things that come with the sort of old school sort of way of being a star. Because once upon a time, the studios created their stars, they wrote their personal lives, they're all created. And even when the studio systems failed and came back and failed again, this sort of idea of how to be a star and how to do publicity and all that, it persisted. And we had new stars come up, but they sort of came up from different places. Like we had people like The Rock come up. It came up from wrestling, which is the same thing, where you have very much a character that you create and that's not actually you, it's not even real, and there's really no stars anymore. Even Tom Cruise, like, people thought he still had star power when Maverick did so well, but that's just because a certain political side thought he was on their side and the film was for them, and they supported it. And then when the next film came out, the Mission Impossible film, it went nowhere because his name wasn't enough. So I think we've seen sort of the end of the studio series, we've seen the end of the stars, and now we've just got social media and reality TV, and everyone's got their own social media, their own platforms, and they're all small, and you have to court those people, but you can't do that without being one of them. And once you are one of them, you're just one of them. You're not elevated, you're not above them like a Madonna or a Gaga or a Mariah or Whitney or someone. So I don't really see a way to win in the current climate. Now, if you're already an icon, former generations will continue to push you forward and keep you relevant. But if you're a new person trying to engage the new people, and Katie's just in that middle ground where she came up just at the end of that era and she kind of joined those girls, but I'm a bit worried about her, because at the end of the day, we're all going to end up in our own little pods, in our own little bubbles, with our own social media and our own little network, like in the Matrix. And there's going to be no external sort of, Hollywood or studio series or stars or anything like that. That's where we're heading for. And like I said, some of the legacy people are going to still have a following for the longest sort of time. But all the new people, they're not going to get that. They're just going to go straight into the bubbles, and that's where we're going to end up. But at least for a little while, the legends will survive. The icons will survive. Marilyn Monroe's not going anywhere. Madonna's not going anywhere. But these new girls, they're probably never going to get to that level, and they won't have, that sort of life. So, and I think Katty's probably one of the first of the sort of big sort of stars who sort of are in that area and that's because she didn't really create that persona that she probably should have, and she seems to be taking that fall a little bit earlier than some of the other girls, but it's coming for all of us because the Matrix is coming for all of us. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Katty Perry. I mean, I like her. I do.